Welcome to Murphy, Sam, and Jody after the show.
You know, it's happened what we thought would happen, what we could have predicted would happen in the world of football in a COVID world. You know, we'll get to Nick Saban and his COVID diagnosis and how in the world he's going to do what he wants to do this Saturday versus what he should do, which is stay in a room, in a padded room. No, but you know, the NFL doesn't want to operate in a bubble either.
Right.
And so they're not going to. They've got plans to test players every game day on game day starting this weekend. Did you know about that?
No.
Oh, no. This is new?
Yeah, and the commissioner, Goodell, says that he said they may even add an 18th week of play to the season just because, you know, if they have to take a break or whatever.
Well, they've already had to move around about a half dozen different games. You know, games that were scheduled on the weekend, they moved to a Monday or Tuesday. You know, we've had like basically double headers on Monday Night Football a couple times.
Yes,
that's because of games being delayed.
That's what's weird to me because it's like this super late game.
Yeah.
What's interesting is the reason I bring it up. It's not like I'm some sort of sports talk person, but I will say I remember when it's like we're going to go forward with this season or we're going to go forward with that season and it's going to happen. I remember thinking, and I think it was said, I think somebody said, look, we're going to lay it out, but it doesn't mean we can't change or won't have to change. And, of course, things have had to change.
Yeah. College,
too, obviously. The LSU-Florida game has been moved. It's not happening this week.
It's back to December 12th.
Yeah.
The Vandy-Mizzou game was postponed as well.
Yeah, because if you could see it from a scientific point of view, you put all those people on a field together doing what they're doing together.
Well, yeah, it's called
around.
It's a contact sport.
Yeah, it's floating
Which
around.
doesn't mean 6 feet apart from each other, right?
And the Pac-12 and Big Ten haven't even started yet.
Right, and so they're watching going,
Yeah.
Well, and, you know, I mean, unfortunately, we're probably going to see more of that as we experiment with gatherings and how far can we go and that. This is what's going to happen.
And this may be the unpopular thing to say, but I'm going to say it.
Cancel the season.
No, I'm opposite. I am glad they went ahead and said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to try it. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then we can make changes as needed because I do believe that you got to go forward with, you know, knowledge in place and with protocols in place, but you've got to try to go forward.
Yeah.
I really believe in that.
Yeah. And I'm sure the NFL did, but they can learn a lot from the NBA because they just pulled off a whole season.
In a bubble.
But, I mean, they did it.
The NFL, one of the things that Goodell said, see, I read deep into this and you didn't, Sam. He says that it's the bubble model in his mind is not foolproof. And he thinks it takes a toll on players emotionally and would take, for the NFL season, it would take them a toll on them emotionally because it would have them away from their families right at holiday time. And that's true.
Also, it would be a bigger endeavor. I mean, basketball, you got 5 guys on the court, another 5 or 6 guys on the bench. Smaller. I mean, NFL, you're talking a 50-something man roster plus all the support staff plus all that.
Yeah.
And if you crammed 32 teams and all those people into one city, and yeah.
So, you know, when they say bubble, do they mean playing without fans or do they mean other protocols? What do they mean?
They were at that ESPN center at Disney.
The NBA teams all went to Orlando.
They were all together.
The ones that were playing went there, and that's where everything happened. They all were in their own hotels. Okay. They all had, you know, they didn't go out to eat. The hotels fixed the food. Everything was in a secure bubble. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then they completed a successful season with very few. I don't know the numbers on who
they did have
tested
some
positive.
fans, I know that, but
right.
It was like mainly family members and stuff like that.
And there was testing happening all the time, just like there is right now in the SEC, in the NFL. And I think that's what's going to happen as we continue to have to be flexible about schedules. And will certain seasons just go, you know, we got to stop? It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I mean, we could be watching the beginning of it right now.
Yeah.
In 2 or 3 weeks, it could be like, look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything else today yet so far about Nick Saban, but that, you know, how is he? The game this weekend is a big one for him and his team, and that is Alabama and Georgia. That's a big game. And is he even going to be able to be out there? Probably not.
Well, what's funny about it is when he was tested, he said he felt nothing. No
he was
symptoms.
surprised
to
have a positive result. Yeah.
So have they actually said how they're going to quarantine? And I realize that Nick Saban's going to do his own thing, but nobody has really said how that's going to be done.
The athletic director issued a statement for himself because he was also
positive.
And he said, "Look, I'm going to go home and self-quarantine now for 14 days."
Yeah.
So
Saban
is a different story because he's going to want to coach somehow. If it's in a headset from his living room or something, he's going to want to do it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's funny because going forward this weekend, it's almost more interesting to me to see how that's going to be handled than the actual games.
Well, and also
I want to see how he's going to handle that too.
Hey, look, you never know. I mean, that could be whatever he decides to do could set a whole new trend for, coaches and the way they have the rest of the season. You never know. Or assistant coaches or, like you said, Sam, team support. Maybe all of a sudden now you don't have to have as much of the support on the sidelines other than the medical and that, I don't know.
You do.
I know that you do, but, it's just like you said, though, a second ago, it depends on if it continues to be a problem. I mean, if you have more people that test positive, they're going to dial it back in one way or the other,
Yeah, they'll have to.
Any video on when he found the news? Did he take his headphones off and slam them down? Just joking.
No, he did have a little press conference yesterday where he talked about it, but that was it.
Well, look, the good news is he's got Aflac, so.
We know he's covered.
Oh, wait, that's a TV commercial. Okay, right.
Oh, he's got it.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.